Moose shovels snow in front of his house every day, and when the aurora borealis lights up in the sky, he stops working immediately. He goes home and closes the door behind him. If you look closely, you'll see that his house is very strange. Almost everything in the house is fastened with strings. Even every book on the bookshelf is securely tied to it. Moose's supper is a glass of warm milk, and when there was nothing else to do, he drank it into his stomach. Then there was a sudden noise outside the window. The moose jumped out of his chair in fear. He put the glass of milk in his hand. Then he climbs into bed to check on the green plant tied to the bed. When he's sure everything's safe, he covers himself with a sheet. As soon as it gets dark, he falls into a deep sleep. At that moment, his room begins to vibrate violently. The books on the shelves start to fall. The moose seems to be used to this kind of life. He was so deep in sleep that he didn't wake up at all. The room shook all night long, until the sun came up the next day. The moose got up from his bed. He wasn't surprised to see all the furniture in the room falling over. He picked them up as a matter of habit, and put them back in their proper places. When everything was in order, he took his tools and put on his hat and began his daily work of shoveling snow. The day passes quickly as the moose goes about his business. When the aurora borealis reappeared in the sky, the moose had to put away his tools and return home. Like yesterday, he made himself a cup of warm milk. Then he stroked the greenery at the foot of his bed. Then he fell into a deep sleep as the sky darkened. Soon the vibrations in the room began again. This time it seemed even more violent than yesterday. Furniture flew all over the room. Even the moose's bed shook from side to side. After a whole night of shaking, by the time the moose came out again, the snow was up to his knees. The moose spent the whole day shoveling snow. By the time he got home, his tongue was frozen. That night, the tremors were as strong as ever. The only difference was that the next day Moose's snow shovel disappeared. Moose searched the house, but couldn't find the shovel. He had no choice but to roll up his sleeves and dig with his hands. He kept digging and digging. The moose was so tired that he lay down in the snow and fell into a deep sleep, until the aurora borealis lighted up in the sky. He didn't wake up. Then the snow suddenly shook violently. The moose was carried to the roof. He accidentally found his missing shovel. For the first time, the moose woke up in the night and saw the smiling face of a little girl. It turned out that the moose had been living in the little girl's crystal ball. The aurora borealis in the sky was the girl's green lamp. The violent vibrations were the girl's artificial shaking. The snowflakes inside are the white bubbles in the crystal ball.